Good morning, good morning. It is 9 a.m. Thursday morning, and People Power with Priscilla. We are the people, and we have the power. Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here another Thursday morning. I was expecting some guests. Hopefully they will be here. But if not, I'm here, and I want to say good morning. How's everybody doing? Yesterday I attended the city council hearing, and they actually approved the reparations task force. So all 13 of them. I was very surprised. I've never seen all 13 of them vote for anything, but that's a good sign, right? So, but I'm sure that there's going to be some questions. There's going to be some, well, why them? I was listening to, this morning on the way to the radio station, I was listening to Kevin Peterson and the people that he had on around reparations. And so there's this conversation about who should get the reparations. Should it be the freedmen? Should it be everybody that's black? My opinion is, I think that it should be all the black people that were born in America since slavery. Their descendants that were born in America. Because the other countries, I don't know, like Jamaica and Trinidad and all those other places. I don't even know if the reparations conversation is even coming up, because like they said, we all were slaves. We were just dropped off at different ports. Some were dropped off at Jamaica, some were dropped off at Haiti, some were dropped off at Mexico. I don't know. But the thing is that we were all slaves, but I feel like those that were brought to America were the worst treated. And if you look up that Willie Lynch letter, it's really sad, what they did and how they separated us. Because we are black. We were born black. And these other groups, they water it down. Some people do things by choice. We were forced to come here. And so, what say you, Boston? Give me a call, or anybody else. 617-282-0685, 617-282-7794, or 617-2679. So, I'm learning how to be my own engineer. I'm being taught by two of the best engineers in the city of Boston, Pastor Bruce Wall and Renee Wise. And I think I'd love to hear from you all this morning, because I don't want to talk all by myself. So give us a call. Hello. I was supposed to have a guest this morning. I'm so disappointed. Maybe he's just running late, because this gentleman, I think people need to hear him. And so while I'm here, I might as well make my own announcement. January 15th, which is Martin Luther King's birthday, from 3 to 5:30, I will be launching the Marcus Anthony Hall Educational Institute. It is a program that I founded, and it's a program that teaches our young children, our young folks, how to run for office. Yes. We bring in speakers that will work with them and help them, teach them. We bring in professors, executive directors. We bring in elected officials. We bring in different reporters. And they talk to our young folks and teach them and talk to them about running for office. Also, how do you run a campaign? We need to be on the campaign about the school committee. I ain't heard nobody say nothing about the elected school committee. And I don't think it's right that our mayor, Michelle Wu, who said the people voted for elected school committee, we're going to have an elected school committee. And now all of a sudden I haven't heard anything about it anymore. So what's going on? Someone said it's the city councilors. I don't know, but I think that we need to get back on this topic because Boston residents did vote for an elected school committee, and we need to go back to an elected school committee. So what's the problem? I don't understand. So I guess that's another question for some of our city councilors. I've been trying to get in touch with our new elected governor. She said after the election she was gonna come back on my show. All of a sudden I can't get in touch with nobody, but that's okay. I also would like to interview Andrea Campbell, our new attorney general. In less than what this is 15th of December. So pretty soon we will have a new governor and a new attorney general, a new auditor. And so we'd like to get these people on to talk to them and see, what their agenda is. Because we have our agenda. We're working on our agenda. We're working on the Black Boston agenda. We have a group called BLOC, Black Local Organizing Committee. And we meet every Thursday at the DeWitt Center at 122 DeWitt Drive. Every Thursday from 6 to 8. So if you're not doing anything and you'd like to find out what we're trying to do, come on down. We invite everybody. People, we have to be more proactive instead of reactive. We have to learn how to organize ourselves. We have to learn how to be true to ourselves. We have to learn how to forgive each other and love one another. Things that are going on in our city, our state, and our country is just unheard of, the things that are going on. However, it just seems like we're still asleep. I thought we woke up. I thought Trump woke us up. But it seems like no. So, what do you say? What do you think? It's like I hear crickets. I don't hear anything. So, what I would like for us to really come together. Really, what is it that we want? What is it that we're asking for, right? And how do we go about doing it? We're turning into another year, 10 more. We're almost at the end of 2022, and it seemed like it went awfully fast, right? We get about ready to step into 2023, and change is coming. My song, "A Change Is Gonna Come." Change happens every day, but we need real change that we can see, that we can feel, that's tangible. And so, what say you, Boston? Y'all scared to talk?
Priscilla, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
It's not that I'm sitting over here thinking that you need any help at all. But I want to ask you, because normally you could sit here and just go 4 hours, and I'm trying to say, okay, Priscilla, when you're done. But did you see in the Dorchester Reporter that the mayor's senior advisor on public safety is going to leave the cabinet post in February? That's Rufus Falk.
Yes, I did.
Any rumors? Do you know what's going on? Do you have the inside story?
I don't. For once, I don't. I don't know. I haven't seen Rufus. I haven't really had a conversation with him about anything. So I don't know. I'm baffled. I don't know. I wonder where he's going. Because he has a PhD. So I'm sure he's going somewhere. It would be interesting. Maybe I can get him on the show. Maybe he'll talk about it.
The other thing, he probably won't talk about it until February. But
what difference do it make? If he's leaving, he's leaving.
Well, you still want to keep the doors open because no matter where he's going job-wise, he might want to access what the city has to offer his new employer. But he's been there for a little while. Not a long. I don't think a long time.
He came in under Walsh.
Right.
And so,
But isn't that the same position that Tracy Lithcutt had? Tracy Lithcutt was also public safety. Then they brought Rufus in, and they were both doing it together, I saw. And then the next thing I knew, Tracy was now assigned to work with the clergy. And then Rufus had this by himself.
Yeah, and now I don't know what Tracy's doing. Because Will Dickinson is now working with the clergy.
Right.
So I come to think about it, I haven't seen Tracy around.
Tracy is still with the administration, is my understanding.
Yeah, he is.
But he's not as visible as he was before. And I cannot honestly say that I felt any of the... I didn't feel anything coming out of the public safety department. For example, was Rufus Falk having meetings with the clergy and the community activists? Did he work with those folk?
I don't know.
Right. There was no connection.
I don't know. Excuse me. Walsh Walsh would give people jobs, but he wouldn't give them budgets and he wouldn't give them staff. So I don't even know if Rufus has a staff. To be honest with you, I don't even know what Rufus does.
Right, and
it's supposed to be
point.
Public safety, but I never, like you said, you never see him at any of those meetings or anything. So I really don't know what he does.
Well,
I know he ran for office a couple times.
Right. So looking at his portfolio, he was the president or executive director of the 10-Point Coalition for a number of years. He did that, and I think that was like the calling card to help him to access this particular position. He's only 40 years old, so that's still very young, right?
He's a baby.
And again, if he maintains the relationship with the administration, I think he should be able to still stay connected with the Wu, the Wu
administration.
Mayors. Yeah. So what do you think?
So maybe maybe something else has came up for him that's more that what he wants to do. But I don't. I believe we have a caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, peace. It's Jamal calling in. How y'all doing?
We doing good, Jamal. How you doing?
All right. Now who is this young thug lumberjack looking person you got next to you?
You hear what I'm saying?
That's my pastor. How you doing, Jamal?
We're doing good. I don't know if he's about to gangbang or cut some logs.
Well,
I know, right? With the hat, right?
You know what's really happening here? I'm giving Minister Priscilla an assist because she needed some professional intervention on her broadcast. So I was giving her the best of Bruce Wall. Apparently it's not working because Jamal said I better call in and help both of them.
I know. Go ahead, Jamal. What's up?
But for real, once again, what I'm gonna harp on is this whole the leadership thing.
Okay.
And we have these great assignments that come in the community. It's like, okay, we have a problem like violence, and then these various groups are assigned to fix the violence, and they go battle the dragon, and they come back, beat up and tore up, and and the dragon is still living on top of the mountain, right?
Yeah.
So once again, what do we talk about all the time? Not doing the same things over and over. But yet, we have that discussion, and then they continue to do the same things over and over. So a lot of this that is personality-driven is, to me, part of the problem. And it's much like, to me, like athletics. So we have this assignment, let's say violence, or let's say, education, or whatever it is. People dig in a Rolodex, and then they say, okay, boom, you're the new center of the team or the forward or whatever. And they assemble these teams. Every so often, via elections and people, transitioning on, the team gets changed.
Yeah.
Has the goal been touched? And that's what we have to really get to, because this is what I'm talking about. This is why the agenda is critical. This is why having the principles of leadership is critical because the people are going to change, right? This is what I used to talk about with the politicians and the mayors and stuff that I may have to engage, and some of whom I certainly know felt like I was, well, in some cases even attacking them. But I tried to tell every political elected official, it doesn't matter. This is not personal. Whoever sits in the seat is going to get the same line of questioning with the same laundry list of issues. Whoever sits in the seat. Right. God forbid if one of them should have a heart attack and die tonight, whoever's in there tomorrow is going to get the same list of issues.
Well, here's a question, though, to ask you, though. And I agree. I agree with you, especially when the job isn't finished and a person leaves and then they put somebody else in. Isaac Yablo, he's 28 years old. He's going to replace Rufus. Do you know him and his portfolio at all?
I mean, I've met him in some meetings and whatnot. Nice young man. Certainly smart and educated. As is Rufus.
Rufus, yeah.
Both far more educationally accomplished than I. Mm-hmm. Rufus, who already has a PhD, and I believe Yablo, who is working on one now. So certainly educationally accomplished and whatnot, but this is the type of thing, again, that I'm speaking about, because this is where, to me, sometimes it's personality driven. I don't know the young man well enough to know, if he can do the job or any of that. Certainly I know that he's capable. No one can call him a dummy or anything like that. Mm-hmm. The question here, in particularly a city like Boston, is he connected enough? Does he know where the bodies are buried? Mm-hmm. Does he have the track record with all the past history and the relationships? It's very complicated doing stuff like that in Boston. And to the point, what I'm saying about the personality thing is just the fact that, once again, it doesn't matter. So God bless him. God bless Rufus. But my thing is, when we're dealing with the violence in Boston, to me, it does not matter who's in that seat. And it really does not matter what they are doing, or in the case of what the city is doing. God bless Michelle Wu. God bless her. I love her as a person and all that. But once again, for me, it doesn't matter if she's there, if she leaves, if it was Marty or Menino or whoever's going to be next. It does not matter. What my question is what are we doing? And how is our stuff together? Because our stuff should be driving.
It should be driving what they're doing, right?
There you go.
Right. You're good. You're right on that. And my question is, where are all of these people? I think when Gene McGuire was attacked in Franklin Park, it was like touching a hornet's nest, and a lot of people were jumping to pull people together to say that they're going to do something. But where are they? Because things seems to be quieting down now. Where are all of these people? What have they done? Has the needle been moved at all as a result of their engagement in addressing the issues in the community?
So for those who are paying attention, another older woman was attacked, 68 years old, over there on Deckard Street, which is right by, what is that, Boston? We used to be Boston Tech. I'm old school. Boston Latin. Okay. Right there, Deckard, Humboldt Avenue on one side, Warren Street on the other. So here is this woman coming home with groceries and whatnot, getting them out the car. Somebody comes along and acts like they want to help. Hey, you need some help, whatever. She's like, engages in some little whatever. No, I'm kind of good or whatever. Next thing you know, this dude bangs her in the back of the head with something.
Oh, wow. Lord.
And then in a scuffle, God bless her, and let this be a lesson. These women in our community, they're not just rolling down playing victim.
That's right.
They fighting back, and they call her for help. So thank God, women, you need to train yourselves and be aware and know, yes, call for help and make noise and make a fuss. Yeah. And so this woman got in a scuffle with him. In that, she actually got stabbed. Apparently, didn't even realize it until I guess she got upstairs or whatever, but she was stabbed in the chest by this piece of scum. And now the police just today, now, because this happened a couple of days ago, the police now, I just saw it this morning, have released now a photo. You can see it at least on my Facebook. And BPD, what is their website? BPDnews.com, where they've released now the suspect. Now, to your point, this is kind of what I talked about at the time. See, and this is also what happens to us, dealing with the violence. Because some of us are not active, but then when your little cousin gets shot,
yeah, yeah,
or something happened to Priscilla now, and then now we're all enraged. Oh, Miss Jean McGuire, nobody better not do nothing to Miss Jean. And this is kind of what I was trying to emphasize. I, like everybody else, love Miss Jean McGuire. You know what I mean? She's like everybody's auntie or de facto grandmoms, Right. We all love her. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to get it twisted up, and this is why I said. So what if it was a 90-year-old homeless lady that nobody knows? Does that make it any less of a tragedy?
No.
See, and that's where we got to get to. Pastor Wall might be able to know, or somebody there, or even you, Priscilla, the Bible verse where God says, like, I am no respecter of persons.
Yeah.
And so whether you were the king or the homeless person, we should have a certain level of respect. And now this woman, who it happens to, who doesn't happen to be a pillar of the community or, in that regard, as well-known local, hood celebrity status or what have you. So now, are we going to be less outraged at this? Right. And are people going to be less likely? Where's the press conference? Is it because it's not there's no media opportunity? There's no opportunity for anybody to shine and position themselves and do the ego and the posture. So sometimes something could happen to you, but I can make it all about me.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so we have to be careful with these type of things. And what I think, just as people in our community and really talking about having community, we need to be conscious about what happens to any of us. And once again, to go to the Bible, I think somebody said, how they treat the least of thee, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it really is about, how we look at our neighbors and people in our society that are supposed to, we don't know, we don't have an affinity for, we whatever, we have to take care of everybody. So I see y'all, your guest is coming in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to let y'all go and get ready for the guest.
Thank you, Jamal. Appreciate you calling in.
All right. You and Pastor Lumberjack, have a good morning.
I'm going to call you later, too, Jamal. I'm going to talk to you about something. All right. Good morning, everybody. Hello. My guests are here. Devon. Devon. Okay. And Khairi. How are you all doing this morning?
I'm at peace.
Yes, I'm so glad that you had the opportunity to talk to you last night at the DeWitt Center, and your books and what you're doing, and so I want people to hear your story because it was very compelling, and the fact that I'm not going to tell your story. I want you to tell your story, but the fact that you turned your pain into purpose. You went through what you had to go through, but then when you came out, you just changed your whole attitude. So let's talk about Devon.
Peace.
Devon, I'm sorry.
As you know, my name is Devon McNeil, and I am a returning citizen. I spent 20 years of my life incarcerated as a direct result of the lifestyle I led 22 years ago. 22 years ago, I was a full-time drug dealer. 22 years ago, I was filled up with a lot of anger. I had deep-rooted self-hatred, and I had a mother who was addicted to opiates. Me being the oldest of 3 boys, striving to navigate that environment, I got lost. When I reflect back and I look at those times in my life, I realize that one of the major reasons why myself and other young black men in our society, in our community, hold on to that lifestyle is because we have no identity. My mother was a single mother striving to raise 3 boys of her own. I know today that It is mathematically impossible for a woman to raise a young boy into a man. Now, she can give me guidance. She can give me purpose. She can give me a lot of things, but she cannot give me manhood. That takes a man, in my opinion. My father spent my whole life incarcerated. So the things I've seen in my household prepared me for the very life I led, which is a very self-destructive, ignorant, and violent life. At 12 years old, I tell people all the time, I didn't get my street education in the streets. I got my street education in my home. From the very people who were responsible for my nourishment, my nurturing, my love, and my care. So when I started selling crack cocaine at the age of 12 years old, no one had a problem with that except the law and my friends' parents. I was the kid.
Nobody wanted to hang around with you.
Exactly. But see, the flip side to that is this. Everybody I associated with at 12, 13, 14 years old came from the same exact lifestyle I came from. So what we did in our community was accepted. One thing I realized about our community is dysfunction is congratulated.
That's so.
So
Were you born and raised in Boston?
yes, I was. I was born in Boston, and at the age of 10, 11 years old, my paternal grandmother passed away, and that forced us to move to the city of Brockton, Massachusetts,
Oh, okay.
to live with my grandfather. And like I tell everybody, my mother thought that bringing me to a new location
Would change.
would change things, but the mentality was already rooted there. So all I did was take that mentality to a new city with me. So I led a very dysfunctional, aggressive, undisciplined lifestyle up until the age of 22 years old. When I got into an argument with another black man who looked just like me, we argued. And when I reflect back on that time, which was July 19th at exactly 12:37 p.m., that man didn't do anything wrong to me. It was all on me. I had a full slush bucket that he triggered by mere words. See, that black man didn't know that I had a .38 caliber in my back pocket as we argued. And when he said to me, "You know what, V? I'm tired of arguing with you. If I would have had my gun on me right now, we would not be having this conversation." And I said, "Brother, that's how you feel?" Well, I didn't call him brother. I said, "That's how you feel?" And I asked him that because I wanted him to hear what he was saying to me. And I wanted to hear again what he said to me. And when he repeated himself, those small words were enough for me to pull out my gun and shoot this man 3 times in broad daylight. But see, the sickness, the mental sickness is this. Why did I run away after shooting that man laughing? What was so funny about me pumping 3 slugs into that man's chest and running away laughing?
And you were 22 at the time?
I was 22 years old.
So you were still young.
Still very young, but socially engineered to believe that violence was the only route. The so-called, and I'm going to say it again, the so-called OGs, these so-called men in these neighborhoods told me that I could not sell drugs in our neighborhood unless I was willing to shoot for the neighborhood. That was 30 years ago. But that same social engineering, that same mental manipulation is happening today in our very own communities. And I'm going to tell you like this. I wouldn't want the old little Vaughn living next door to me today. No, I would not. So it's beautiful that I'm here today. And I love being here because I love sharing my story. But it's not only my story.
It's a lot of people's story.
It's a lot of people's story. And my story is not unique.
Right.
I'm just not afraid to speak about it.
Right.
That's all.
Tell me something. You wrote 2 books. One of them was called They Lied and We Believed It.
My first book is called The Streets Lied and We Believed.
Okay. And that's basically your autobiography, right? You talk about your life growing up.
No. So that book, the book you're referring to, is my second book.
Oh, okay.
Which is called From Negative to Positive in My Own Words.
Okay.
The Streets Lie and We Believe is a compilation of writings between myself and about 100 other men.
Wow.
All prisoners who are telling the youth that, listen, we believed that the streets was our way out, but it was a lie. And now we all found ourselves trapped inside of these prison cells.
Is your book in Frugal Bookstore?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm an author as well. So, but it's just, so your program, how did you get your program started? And you have this young man with you who I want to hear from as well. How did you start that mentoring program?
I started my mentoring program while incarcerated. I just wasn't able to register it.
Okay. So you were mentoring inmates that were coming in behind you?
True indeed.
Okay.
Young men who came in highly aggressive with a whole bunch of time on their hands and didn't know what to do with it. I had made the conscious choice 14 years ago to change my life as a direct result of my mother losing her legs to diabetes and realizing that me being her oldest son, after all my mother went through, all I put her through, I couldn't be there to help her. So I said, how do I get revenge for the streets? Change your life, V.
Yeah.
Change your life. And that's what I did. And when I decided to change my life, so many young men seen that, but they were afraid. They were afraid because they said, well, V, if I give up who I am, if I give up my gangster, if I give up my thug, then what do I have? And I said, black man, you got you. But guess what? If you start now, you got me. And that's how the mentoring program started. I came home 2.5 years ago, and I came home with vision and purpose, because I cannot give that young man his life back, but I can spend the rest of my life giving to these young men who are lost. And that's how my program started. And the program is called Not On My Watch Mentoring Incorporated, and I have one of my lead mentors with me today.
Okay, so let's hear from you, young man. What's your name again?
Khairi Baxter. Yes.
Okay.
So a little bit about myself. I'm from the city of Boston as well, born and raised. I had moved to Florida and New Jersey for a little while, but came back. Dorchester is where I'm originally from. I live around Roxbury now. But, my story is a little similar to his. Basically, like he said, his story is not unique, but just not afraid to tell it. So with me, I didn't do prison time, but I did a lot of jail time, a lot of probation, a lot of court hearings and stuff like that. Put my mom through a lot. But the thing with that is, I was never from the streets. I wasn't from a gang. I wasn't from a hood. I was just following bad influences.
Listening to the wrong people.
And
was your mom a single parent as well?
Yes, but my father was always present too. So we didn't live with my dad, but my dad always lived 10 minutes down the road to this day. So he was always there. He was always in my life. Even if, like I said, it wasn't in the same home, I always heard from mom and dad the same day. They could come together, talk about things and, raise children, even not under the same roof. So I had a lot of guidance, grandparents, cousins, aunts. I just didn't listen. That's basically what it was. I was following influence of people that I thought really cared, and they didn't care for me, which caused me to be in a lot of trouble. Also, going through things in my life, I had a lot of anger built up as well, and I took that out in the streets and did violent things and things that wasn't worth it, that put me in jail, behind bars, things that got some of my friends killed, and I realized that, and I had to change.
Good morning, Boston Praise Radio.
So I'm only 24 years old, and by around 2021, I realized that the direction that I was going was going to keep me in prison, or eventually I was going to end up dead. So what I did is decided to change my life. I started riding bikes, and I've been riding bikes my entire life, but it became a family when I started riding bikes with these people. Like, it was more of a bond than being out in the streets with people who didn't really care about you. Because what people don't realize, and a lot of these kids don't realize, is when you go to jail, you don't have friends. Everybody that you thought was your friends and that you was doing that with, they're not gonna come to the courtroom with you and say, "I did this with him too. I'm gonna take the blame too, like he did." It doesn't happen that way. They don't even call you in jail. They don't send you money. Some might, but it's a very small, select few. Sometimes, depending on what you did, even your family might turn on you. So just in the end, it's not worth it. Because these people was telling you, don't do this. You're going to be in trouble. We don't want to have to come bail you out and pay this money and go through this, but you're deciding to do that. So as a young man too, what these kids don't realize is that you have to take ownership for the things that you've done.
Right.
You feel me? You can't always look for your parents, and you're making the decisions an adult would make.
Right.
So that's another thing.
We have a caller.
Okay.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
How you doing? This is Dennis Everett. I also go by Green Monster, Preacher Rhymes. I have a bunch of different names.
Oh, hey, Preacher Rhymes. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
My
good.
brother-in-law, Frank,
Pastor Hobbs.
Pastor Hobbs, yeah, he sent me this link, and I'm driving in Milford right now. So I wrapped up out of DDU. I was security threat group upstate from about 98 to 2006. I got out. I did like music, and then I saw the scene, and I was like, "Oh, this is perverted." And then I started helping young people in residential. I climbed up all the way to a level where they wanted me to go to college. Then I jumped in the union because I had to get a house, and then from there jumped back into an organization. UTEC was the director of reentry, and then I was approached by the undersecretary of Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, where I now contract. I'm going to Milford right now to sit down with the commissioner, and I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Anyways, the point is this, brother. I am so impressed, and I've been looking for you for so long, and the integrity and how you're speaking. I just want to get your contact information, and we'll just get busy. And another thing is, like, I consider myself a civil rights activist. It's just a lonely space because a lot of people don't know what we're supposed to be doing. And to have your voice at tables of power articulating, and there's a lot of alignment of what you're talking about and what I'm going to be instituting. So just keep up the fight, man. I look forward to meeting you. Even if our stuff doesn't align and you're too busy, that's cool, but I'm encouraged just to hear you this morning and keep speaking from the heart and telling your truth, man. There's sacred. I'm the director of restorative justice for EOPS. And restorative justice teaches us that there's tradition and there's that which is sacred. And that which is sacred is that people from our bloodline will be called into leadership. And we need to do a better job at recognizing that leadership, not by the construct of traditional education, but by looking at the heart and the whole person and seeing that they've been fashioned for leadership in this season. Leadership isn't something that's developed. It's something that falls on someone. When you're in prison and there's a fight, people turn to a person because he is a leader. And I just want to recognize your leadership this morning and say thank you, brother. And I know emotionally it's a lot and no one understands. And there must be times where you feel like it's snapping, because I do. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to project my stuff on you, but keep up the fight, man, and know you got allies out here. So I'm going to listen. I appreciate you all. And I obviously appreciate this radio station. I feel like it's the heart and the voice of our community. So support all around. And I'm going to hang up and listen.
Before you leave, brother. He already left?
Yeah. You still there? No, he left.
Well, I know you listening.
Yeah.
I want to say this to you, brother. It is a long and lonely road. And you said you're on your way to Milford right now. I should be in that car sitting next to you. Because here's the reality, brother. I'm being held back from my work. Because why is it that the Massachusetts Parole Board, the Department of Public Safety, 7 board members had to sign their name on a piece of paper to allow me to return back to my community? They all agreed that Devon McNeil is rehabilitated enough to return back to his community. But the Boston public school system is saying that Devon McNeil, because he has a record, because he was convicted of murder, he is not allowed into our schools to speak to our children. Brother, We know that right now in our city of Boston, and many cities, but I'm talking about the city of Boston, there's kids right now with guns in their backpack. There's kids right now that's going to leave school and go shoot people. And you going to tell me, someone who took somebody's life and spent 20 years of my life in prison, I'm not qualified to go in your schools and help? So, brother, please call on me. Please call on me. When I leave out of here, you can call on me. You say you've been looking for me, brother. Well, I've been looking for you. Let's do this work. Thank you, brother.
Give me your information so he can reach you.
I'm going to give you my direct number online. 508-857-9271. Facebook, Devon McNeil. DEVON MCNEIL. On Instagram, you can find me at Victory Bones TST. Please, brother, please, I need your help as much as you need mine. We have work to do out here. Peace.
Well, it's amazing that I tell you, the system is just jacked. I have a program that I've started. It's called the Marcus Anthony Hall Educational Institute, and I'm gonna have you as one of my speakers because we need to hear from people like you because our young children are suffering. They really are, and it's I feel like the system, it's about white supremacists, it's about racism, it's about all this stuff. And like you said, they lied. Police brought guns and crack cocaine into our community, And then if you being a black man selling crack and somebody being a white person selling coke, there's two different sentences.
That's right.
And it doesn't make any sense. It's just mass incarceration, as we know about, the new Jim Crow. And so we need brothers like you and like you that realize that this is not the way to go. I may have been raised by a single parent, but I'm going to stand up for my people and stand up for my children and don't go down that road because we know that a lot of times all people really need is love, just someone to talk to. I had 2 children, but I lost my first son in a fire at 4 and my second son at 7 in a car accident. So I don't have no more biological children, but I have a lot of spiritual children and nieces and nephews and people that call me auntie and stuff because I show love to everybody that I meet. Whether I like you or I don't like you, I still try to show you love. And that's what we need. We need I'm working with a group. We call ourselves the Black Local Organizing Committee, BLOC. And it's with the Nation of Islam, Minister Randy. We're co-chairs of the program. We have the Nubian Square Foundation, Wawa, and Will Dunn and them. And it's like all these brothers have been incarcerated. And then they come out and they have so much skill, so much things to do, and it's like the system's just, no, you can't do this. No, you can't. I don't understand why people get out of jail and got to wear ankle bracelets. You don't serve your time. You can't get a job. You can't get a school a loan to go back to school. And you can't, what's the third thing? If you lived in public housing, you can't go back, and so you come out. You don't have nowhere to live. You can't get a job. You can't get an education. So what do? You couch surf, or either you go back. And back when I was young, I used to always say, people just, because I had a brother he was in prison from 16, back and forth. He's now 70, but he's straightened out his life. He's working. He lives in Worcester. He's doing a lot of work with recovery. And so. The bottom line is that I feel like God has us here for his plan and a purpose because there's so many people that didn't make it. There's so many people that wasn't able to come out of it. And just like the brother that you said that you killed, he's no longer here. However, by what you did, you learned, listen, this ain't, I can't keep doing this, And so I'm also a founder of an organization called Mothers for Justice and Equality. I haven't, I left them to work with some other organizations, but it's like you don't realize it sometimes we don't realize things until it hit us, People ain't gonna, they're not gonna get involved. But as soon as their kid gets killed, as soon as their child something, then they want to, come up and, But I've been a fighter all my life, and so I just, I thank God. I thank God for this church. This is my church. I thank God for this radio station. And I thank God for the vision that God gave Pastor, because this radio station, this is the only black-owned, licensed radio station in Boston. And yet we can't get people to support. And it doesn't make any sense. With all the churches that we have, all the community organizations, we can do what we want. This is radio and TV, And so we're trying to build this. We're building the broadcasting community where we're teaching young folks how to do just what we're doing here, But we're starting at 14 years old. We probably need to start at 10. Because I seen the Instagram by James Mackey, and his son, he said, he's trying to sign up for LLC, and I think it was either his son or his daughter. It might have been his daughter, but she had on the hat, so I couldn't tell. But okay, she's on her little computer, sign up for LLC. We have to learn how to be business mind. We have to learn how to pool our resources. We have to learn how to trust somebody, and with that, because we have to raise our own money. We have to elect our own elected officials, because it's the system. It's these, when I say white people, I talk about the system that brought us over here against our will, that has just used and abused us, And when I talk to Senator Diane Wilkerson, she talks about how 1960, what we was going through. So we don't even have to go back 400 years. We're currently in the present, And so my desire is that we teach our young folks, we work with them, we build them up, and we build our own schools. These people are not teaching our children what they're supposed to be taught.
Ma'am, do you know I learned about my auntie Harriet Tubman while inside of a prison cell?
That's my girl.
Do you know that in school they taught me that my very history started
in slavery.
At slavery? You lied.
Yep.
You lied to me.
Yep.
In public school, you lied.
Yep.
I had to go to school, cell school, and get my education. But I'm going to tell you about the system. See, the biggest mistake that we make as black people on this planet Earth, first and foremost, we are the original people of the planet Earth. Secondly, they know all about us. And we know nothing about ourselves.
Right.
So, me and my brother right here, we have a bike program called Victory Bones. If we made one phone call right now, we could have 20 to 30 or even 50 kids show up right now in front of this church on bikes. All these kids have issues. They're not gang members, they're not drug dealers, but they have issues in their soul. Why is it that I'm a 501c3 nonprofit in the city of Boston? I've been doing this work almost 3 years now, and I have never gotten a grant. Not one grant. You know what we about to do when we leave here? I got 4 buckets in my back seat right now. Me and my brother Khairi right here and about 4 or 5 other young youth are going to go down to Cambridge with our buckets on our bikes in traffic in the hopes that these pedestrians can put some change and some dollars in these buckets in order for us to help our program.
Well, I started an organization called the Black Economic Justice Institute, and we fought for jobs, we protested, and did a lot of work in the community. And I know how to write grants. So if you need a grant writer, I'll work with you, because it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. And it bothers me. I mean, I worked for the city. I ran their payroll for 20 years. I've seen a lot of stuff. And that's why I am the way I am now. That's why I support people who support me, you know. And so we have to learn how to work with each other. I'm telling you. I'm new at engineering, so y'all have to forgive me. Boston Praise Radio TV. out and have a conversation,
Please.
because I know a couple of grant writers,
Please.
because it's insane. It just doesn't make any sense.
And these young men, they depend on us. They look at me and this brother right here as their role models, as their leaders. These young men will do anything that we ask them to do. And all we ask them to do is this: go to school.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to school,
Mm-hmm.
listen to what's being said.
Mm-hmm.
Most importantly, listen to your mother.
Right.
That's what we asking these young men to do. Take responsibility.
We have a caller. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Karen Pina. I just wanted to say thank you to these two brothers. Listening in on this show really gave me strength. It gave me hope.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just proud. I'm just so thankful for you two brothers and the work that you're doing in the community. You both are brilliant, and this is what we need. But I just wanted to know, who are your elected officials? I don't know where your organization is located, but we really need to make sure that we're reaching out to our elected officials for support and for help in order to get the resources that we need. There's no way that, and also some of our big, black business owners here, these big developers and things like that. I'm not going to name any names, but those are the people that I think should rally around. And we as people, as citizens, need to support you guys as well. So just happy to hear it. And you know what? Little becomes much. So don't hesitate to reach out to us everyday folk and see what we can come together with as well. But thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are down to 1 minute, and so I'm gonna ask. Thank you, caller. We appreciate you. Do we have another caller? Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Sister Priscilla. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Grace. You got like 30 seconds.
Okay, I just want to call up and just say thank you for the show, and thank you, brothers, for the work that you're doing. God has called you to restore our community. So I would love to help you get the resources you need to build your business.
Ma'am, I appreciate you so much, and we're looking for all the help that we can get because, like I said, we got work to do in these streets. These young men depend on us, and we need the resources. I've been to the State House and City Hall in the last 90 days probably 10 times. And I'll be remiss not to thank Miss Julia Mejia because she did give us a couple $1,000, but that money's gone. That money went right to the youth, to the bikes. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, so, Sister Priscilla, I will be at her meeting. She has my contact information, but I've been away. I would love to help you.
Thank you.
All right, so Grace, when I get off the air, I have his information. I'm gonna send his information to you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk later. Thank you. I believe we have ran out of time. However, I do want to try to get you guys back on again, and with some of your bikers. Okay. Like I said, I'm starting up my program, and I am definitely we wanna bring you all in, and Grace is definitely, she's a much better grant writer than I am. She's been doing it for a long time, but we gotta wrap up. I'm gonna stay. Don't leave. I'm gonna talk to you. This is People Power with Priscilla. We are the people, and we have the power. We'll see you next week, same time, same channel. God bless.